What if you could create more kindness in the world just by being you? Everyone has the potential to create and receive more kindness. What if kindness is more than being nice and compassionate to others? Have you ever considered what having more kindness for you could create in your life? Get ready to learn how the energy of kindness is integral to reducing stress in your life and how it can assist in healing your body. Now, here is the host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, facilitator of healing, Karen Leslie.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Karen Leslie. I'm your host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, and we've got the next sort of 55 minutes or so to kind of hang out together, which is always wonderful. For me, if you're listening live, right, you know that it's Wednesday, May 8th, and I keep saying to people, Wednesdays are my favorite day. And they really are. I love Wednesdays. I love coming and being here with you. I very much, sincerely appreciate those of you who join live every week. It adds so much to the show and to me personally as well. So if you love Cultivating Kindness with Karen, please share it. Please let other people know about it. Let's get the word out a little bit more. I don't really want to be the best kept secret in the world. I'd really love the world to hear me and see me so that we can continue to change the perspective on mental health, which is really what all of this is about. Sure, I say it's all about kindness, and it is, and we talk about what is kindness to you and what is not kindness to you on so many different topics. But the reality is, it all boils down to helping you with how you are seeing yourself, how you see the world, and that has a positive impact on your mental health. Now, you don't need difficulties, any struggles at all with mental health or concerns that way to benefit from the shows. But if you do, then I'm really hoping that by giving you a different way of looking at things, you can move into a space that's more comfortable for you and continue that journey of evolving into who it is you would just love to be. And this is, kind of a long lead in to today's show. Positive thinking is temporary. And when we have positive thoughts and, it's hard to hold on to them, and we keep wondering, okay, why do they keep disappearing? Why can't I do this? Oh, I know so-and-so, he or she is always so positive, and I can't get there. I don't know how to get there. Well, if that's you, you are actually with the majority of people in the world. You are. Because the fact is, positive thinking is temporary. It is not a full-time way of being for the vast majority of people. I would say for it to be full-time, it would be for an extraordinarily small percentage. I don't want to say it's not possible, but that number's got to be little from my perspective. Life happens. Things come around and we get wobbled and jostled and sometimes just knocked over. And when we're in the midst of that, holding on to that very positive way of looking at life or the situation, it'll be tested. And we fall off, no question about it. And it's not a problem. What I think is helpful is to know that it happens. So then when it does, you don't go into self-judgment or criticism of yourself that you've lost your positive way of looking at something. It's just data. You just did. So would you like it back? Right? But we will quickly go into judging ourselves. So if we are normally in that way of thinking, then we can be very critical when something happens to ourselves. And that's not wrong. It's just part of this experience we're having on this planet. And then we've got those of us who, looking to be more positive more often than not, that is a journey. I remember years ago, Oh, well, and decades ago. Like, so short term meaning 6, 7 years ago or so, and then longer term, 20 or 30 or more years ago. People just saying, if you had a more positive outlook, Karen, things would be better for you. Or can't you just find a more positive way of looking at this? That would bother me a lot. I'm going to be very honest. It would bother me a lot. Decades ago, when I was really struggling with, depression and other things, for someone to say to me, if you had a more positive outlook, I'm sure this would turn around. Well, in those moments, to be honest, that wasn't kind because I didn't know how to do it. There were so few moments of thinking positively that I didn't have the experience or the repetition or the evidence in my life consistently enough that I could believe that I could create at any point a positive outlook on something, a positive thought. Now, today, I know I can. Today, I know it is possible. I got here through a journey of personal development, trial and error, support from coaches, support from family. Like, so it wasn't a solo job. No way. I had support around me in many different ways to get there. So to expect positive thinking to always be there really can set you up for some disappointment. And I don't wish you to have that. I've said numerous times, right? Expectations are the foundation of disappointment. When we expect something and we don't meet it or something falls short about it, then we go into judgment, we go into disappointment, we go into criticism of self or another person, or criticizing an event or something that didn't meet your expectation. I was at a summit actually, not this weekend that just passed, but so like 10 days ago. And somebody towards the end of the second day said to me, did the summit meet your expectations? And I said, I didn't have any. And this person looked at me like, well, they didn't know how to answer and was surprised. They were like, why would you come if you don't have expectations? And so I explained that, I arrived at the summit because I knew there was something there for me. I knew it was going to be a value for me to spend time there, but I had zero expectations as to what that was going to look like, what any, I don't know, aha moment might have been that I may have received while there. I had no expectation of the people putting this on the summit. I was there to receive. I was there to experience. I was there open for whatever it was that drew me there that was going to be helpful for myself. When the weekend was over, I was super happy with it all. I had a great time. I enjoyed a lot of it. I had a couple of challenges. That's okay. But I did not arrive with an expectation. Looking at things from a positive perspective is different than having an expectation about something. That may sound odd, but it's very true. With an expectation, you are looking at a lot of the how something is going to unfold or show up for you. The mind automatically goes into that list of hows when we set the expectation. If you're looking at something from a positive perspective, you can do so without adding in expectations and judgments. This then gives you a wider opportunity and greater possibilities to experience like an overall positive time with whatever it is you're thinking about. Really wasn't planning on going there. You never know with this show. That's all cool. So, yes, so positive thinking is temporary. It really is. Uh, I remember a while ago, um, actually, it was only a couple of months ago when I think about it. I was really, really happy. Just things were changing. I was changing. I was just generally happier than I'd been in quite a while. And then I found being happy got fatiguing. It was tiring. And I was like, what in the world is going on with this? Like, I am genuinely happier. I am genuinely enjoying my life and my days better than I had before. So, why is this feeling like it's work? Part of that reason is my subconscious way of functioning was really kicking into gear here to have me go back to how I was thinking before. And it was showing me how being in the space of being happy was elusive at one point for me, or it was very fleeting for me. And so working, that was the word and energy I was feeling, working at staying in this happy space became like a job. It was weird. Initially, it was fine. So same idea. Initially, you can have positive thoughts, and they can be quite easy for you to feel and imagine with and be in that energy of. Maintaining them, the subconscious can kick in and go, wait. This is not who we are 24/7 for weeks on end. Like, no, but it can be. It isn't a space you can work to getting to. So my body and my thoughts were taking me back to a familiar way of being. Positive thinking, and you can end up with the same results coming forward for you from your body and your thinking. Because that's more comfortable, because it's familiar, even though there's a part of you that knows that the thoughts may not be as positive, we can very easily slide into them, and then that positive outlook disappears. Now, what if we want more positive thinking? What if we would like to actually have it hang around? Then there's a few things we need to understand beyond the little bit that I've just gotten into here, just kind of as an introduction as to why the thoughts can be very temporary for us. We're going to go into this as we go through the show. We really are. But before I carry on and before our first break comes up, I want to share something with you. And I am going to mention this a couple of times during the show, just so you know. Tomorrow, May 9, is a day where you could actually fill yourself up with positivity. You could fill yourself up with positive thoughts. You can be in the energy of this if you would like to choose it. What am I talking about? Well, I forgot to tell you about it last week, so I'm letting you know the day before that I'm speaking on a summit tomorrow called, what's it called for? I just lost it. Sparks of Hope. There we go. Sparks of Hope, shooting for success. So yes, there's an element of hope that comes through, and that can be, right, very positive. And then there's this element of success. Also can be very positive. There's 21 speakers. We will provide an experience for you that will be very unique and I think just downright wonderful. If there's any area of your personal life, your professional life, within your business that you are struggling with, and I mean anything, then seriously consider joining in to the Sparks of Hope Summit. If you've got struggle, and then you add in the element of hope, positive thinking, it's another way of putting those words in, then you are going to move yourself towards success. So if there's anything in your life that's not working for you, seriously, think about joining. You can check out the website, and I'll say this a couple of times. Maybe I can get Sarah to put it in the comments for people as well. It is ICN, right? Inspired Choices Network. They're hosting it. So icnsummit.com, and then do /Sparks of Hope, and it will take you to the website. Go and look at it. Look at all the speakers and see what the topics are that they're talking about. And then go over and look at all of the offers that they have for you, because it's one ticket price. You purchase your ticket, and then you have all of the offers. You're probably more used to hearing it as the word gifts, but all of that is there for you to choose from. You can have one, or you can have all 21 for the one ticket price, which is $67 US. It's such a bargain. This will also assist you with positive thinking, helping you find ways to maintain it so it's not so temporary for you. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I'll tell you a little bit more about that and the types of things people are sharing later on in the show. We're going to go for our first break now. You're here with me on Cultivating Kindness with Karen. I am Karen Leslie. Yes, I just did talk about a summit, but you are currently here on Cultivating Kindness with Karen. The Inspired Choices Network is the host of my show, as well as many other things that this fabulous group of professionals does. And I'm thrilled you're here with me. So when we come back, we're going to look at, how can we work at being more positive and have more ease with finding a positive thought when we really are in those moments of struggle or reaction or sadness, whatever it might be for you. So you're going to want to hear the second part of the show, so don't go away, and we will be back with you just in a couple of minutes. All right. Thank you, everybody.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I would love to get an email from you. I really would. If there's anything that you have questions about, if you'd like more information about something that I talk about on any of my shows, let me know. Send me an email, Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. All right, so let's get back to this positive thinking. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a more positive outlook on just all the different aspects of our life? It really would bring in more ease to going through your day. It would give you a greater flow of how you're going through your day as well. And then at the end of your day, when you get into bed and you close your eyes, And for me, that's a time where I go into a gratitude practice. And to be able to be in that space of gratitude for how your day was, to recognize the pros, the gains, like how things flowed for you, is such a wonderful way to fall asleep. And then to think of, okay, so what would I like for tomorrow? And you set that mindset. And if you can feel what you're thinking, you're when you think of something that went well during your day and it makes you feel, I don't know, lighter, happy, or brings a smile to your face, even though you're lying there in the dark. When that happens with it, you actually empower that thought. You really do. That emotion gives it power. And so the more we do that, the more we start to actually program our subconscious. So you bring in the thought that's in the conscious mind, you decide to do that. And then you attach that emotion to it. And you feel really good about that part of your day. And so as you're going to sleep, you're already talking to your higher self or whatever powers you lift this to. And in doing so, you're letting them know what you would like for tomorrow. Especially if you say, I'll have more of this, please, or this or something greater. When we put that emotion in, it drops it into that subconscious in a way that starts to have impact and meaning for you. I mean, how wonderful is that? So when you are having a positive thought and it's making you feel good, be very aware of bringing the body into that moment and allowing that emotion to come through. It creates a different experience. And yeah, that's the word. It creates a different experience for you that allows that experience to come forward again with more ease in the future. Now, the exact same is true if you have a thought that has an emotion attached to it that you may label as negative. So you have a thought that is full of judgment or criticism, anger, resentment, pity, jealousy, like whatever. When you attach that emotion to it, the same thing happens. It gives it extra weight and empowerment and strength to drop into your subconscious. So the more often, how do I want to phrase this? The more often any emotion is attached to a thought, the stronger the thoughts will be because of that consistent emotion being there. I hope this is making sense. Now, the downside to this is we've already established holding on to positive thinking and positive thoughts is temporary. They don't stay. For the majority of people, a huge percentage of your thoughts every day, those 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts you have a day, huge percentage are negative thoughts, meaning you have a thought that you've attached a negative emotion to. You've thought it so often that it has now become a regular program in your subconscious that just runs, just goes. It's there. The emotion and the frequency of that emotion attached to a particular thought or a belief system impacts its strength in your subconscious. So your conscious mind is there gathering information. It's like it loves seeking, it loves knowledge, it likes to just to gather stuff up. It's your learning center. But if you don't attach an experience to what you're learning, and that experience involves emotion, then it just kind of stays up there, and we don't actually use a lot of it. We really don't. You have a good memory and you can recite things, but it doesn't have the impact on changing your ability to think positively. It really is just there as a recall center. And often the recall doesn't have a tremendous amount of emotion with it. It may initially, but often that emotion starts to fade, and then it's just data that's coming forward. So this is really critical to understand if you want to increase the number of positive thoughts you have a day. And so you may be thinking, oh, so those people that I look at that are really so positive all the time, is this what they've done? Possibly, yes. It is entirely possible that they've learned this, they've practiced it, and practice, repetition, really, really important. And so they're reprogramming the subconscious so that this is more naturally who they are. It is also possible that they're pretending. They have a people pleaser mask on, or they have a positivity mask on, or they are just in that space of they're choosing to present this forward, but you know what? It will be tiring, it will be fatiguing, and they're going to feel exhausted, either after the situation they're in that they've put this out full force, when that's over, or at the end of their day, or the end of a couple of weeks, but it will catch up because it's being forced. It's not natural. You are not being your authentic self. Now, if you do it a lot, you may think that that is who you are authentically, but I would challenge that. I really would. I would be happy to have a conversation with you and find out what is truly underneath that. Because from my experience, there will be something there. And this is one of the things I do with clients. I'm really good at listening to how you speak, reading your energy, reading the energy of your words, and knowing whether it's that you're buying into it as a truth, but it's not, or whether you are actually putting words forward and an energy forward that you know is not actually true, but you're doing it for a reason. And when you understand that reason, then you have the opportunity to change that and move to be more authentically who you are. Just like, a few months ago, I was just naturally happier, more hours in every day, until my programming was kind of like, wait a minute, we're being left out here. This isn't okay. And it started to challenge me. All cool, all just information, right? Without that awareness and without that experience, then I would not have been able to go in and work with it and then increase my ability to receive being happier more often. And that's what I did. And so I'm back around again. So don't judge yourself. Don't compare yourself to somebody who's always positive and put yourself down. Instead, if you see someone that's really positive and you admire their positive way of looking at things or how they are going through their day, then know that the fact that you can admire it, that you can look at it positively without going into that judgment of you, that will make it easier for you to access that quality within yourself. Because if you can see it in another person, then it's within you. And this isn't the people who are like, oh man, they're so positive, they're driving me crazy. Like, can't they just chill for a while? Okay. That's not the same thing. That's you being critical of it. That's not being an awareness of it, knowing it's inside you and you've got that same gift. That's your judgments coming forward. Whole other show we can do on that and understanding why you go into that reaction. But don't judge yourself because you see someone else, sort of more naturally being in a space you'd like to be and you're not there. There are thousands of really good reasons why you're not there. Now, I'm not saying they're really good reasons because that's where I want you to stay. I am saying they are really good reasons because this has just been what has become your belief system. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we come back and work on, all right, so yes, Karen, I would like to be a little more positive during my days. How do I do that? And we're going to get there. So we have another break coming up. So don't go away because we're going to kind of shore you up, so to speak, encourage you and give you some support as to how you can look to be more positive. All right. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, everybody. Thank you.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, so positive thinking. So how do we move towards that? And there was a question in the chat that just brings us into this beautifully. It says, Karen, so what do you mean by emotion? Like happy, joy, love, question mark. And yes, it can be those emotions. If you are familiar with the scale of emotions or emotional resonance scales, you know that there's certain emotions that carry a higher frequency, a higher vibration. The one that is the highest, which has recently been discovered, so it will not be on very many of the charts that you can find, on the by Googling them or looking for them online. But the one that is actually the highest above love, which people think is number one, is authenticity. So if you're thinking about your day and you're finding things to be grateful for or a personal gain during the day, and you feel good about it. So just even those words, just feel good about it. So allow yourself to connect with what it was. Maybe you can go back to when that was happening during the day, be in that energy, in that space of it again. Just let your imagination take you back there. And then pause in that moment and check in and see how your body is feeling. You can label it with an emotion, but you don't have to. Just become aware of how you're feeling. What is it? I mean, you might feel a little tingly. You might feel like your heart or your heart center has expanded. It's larger. So somebody may want to call that love or joy. It doesn't really matter. Get a physical sense of it. If you find automatically smile, focus on it. Bring your attention to the fact that you're smiling. And then kind of scan your body. What's the rest of it doing? When you become more in sync, I guess is the word I want, with how your body responds to a positive thought, then the more your body is going to actually desire that. You know, I've spoken about the chemical response or reactions that happen with a thought and an emotion in our body. And they happen in an instant, like just a nanosecond. You have the thought, the emotion kicks in, the body's right there, and it's releasing these chemicals. And the body gets, and the brain and the gut gets used to receiving those. So the more time you spend in the ones you want to be replicating, then the more the body is going to get used to it. And this is how it will go into the subconscious, is through those emotions. Then it will land there. Now, authenticity, as I was saying, is an amazing space to be. So also checking into like that moment when you felt good and you're bringing that back. Were you being you? Right? There is a difference to people pleasing and making somebody else feel really good. That, yes, that can make you feel great. No question about it. Body response, the whole bit. Yes. But when you are in that energy of being authentically you, without the masks on, without the fears and without the judgment concerns, you're going to need to experience. It's very experiential. It is different. It's more sustainable. And it does get that thought into your subconscious in a different way. The people-pleasing idea, when you've got that feel good about doing it, the belief behind why you're doing it goes into the subconscious. Not so much that positive thought and feeling about it. You're actually just reinforcing that belief you have that people-pleasing is a good thing for you to be doing for whatever reasons. So it actually locks in, not in the way you want it to be. I hope that's making some sense to you. When you are being authentic, that anchor, that attachment onto that thought, it's more effective because it actually matches on a higher frequency of energy, which becomes more potent. You can also be extremely potent when you're at the low end of the frequencies too, and you're at guilt and shame. They're also super strong. But working at being in that authenticity and matching the energy of how you're feeling with that moment, you clear out doubt, you clear out judgment, and you have a clarity of who you're being in that moment, and it's spectacular. It is amazing. And truthfully, if you've never been there before, you may find it uncomfortable and go, whoa, okay, that was weird. Weird doesn't mean wrong. It's just different. But the more you work to replicate it, the more you're going to be able to be there at command. You can choose it. Right? You're not faking it. When you are being authentically you, there is no faking. That fake it till you make it line, no, it doesn't work to change the subconscious way of thinking. Faking it till you make it will not work to increase your positive thinking. To hold on to a positive thought longer, no. Because that fake it till you make it has the energies of agenda, comparison, judgment, doubt, all of that, any of those fears, they're in there. So again, right, it's that energy, that's what is going to get locked in or reinforced into the subconscious mind. So then, okay, how do you become somebody who can think positively more often? So here's some of the steps. Let's see if we can just kind of lay these out a bit for you. One is practice feeling the difference in your body. So doing a time of gratitude or spending some time in meditation and bringing in gratitude with it is really, really helpful. Customize, that's the word I'm hearing. Is that a word? Customize your body to that sensation, to that feeling, and have the thought present so you connect them. You can actually even use wording from like the energetic perspective of asking your body to anchor in that feeling so it can show it to you again. What else can you do? You need, when you have a positive thought, pause and recognize it. Like, acknowledge that you just had it. Pat yourself on the back. Like, okay, say, oh, well done. Good job, Karen. Oh, that's a new way of thinking. Oh, I like that. I'll have more of that, please. Right? Acknowledge it and be with it, right? And then bring in those emotions, bring in that physical sensation of it as well. You know, we work with our outer world with our five senses, to see, touch, taste, hear, smell. That is the conscious mind, and working with it to attach it in this way will be very beneficial for you. When you have a positive thought, a next step would be literally ask up of yourself or ask of higher powers, show me more, or show me this again, or what else can I feel positive about? And ask, show me. And then that part of your brain, right? The reticular activating system, you've given it a job. It's like that heat-seeking little missile. So now you've given it a target that can bring something forward for you that will help you to step into those positive thoughts with more ease, more often, and to be able to hold on to them longer. When you start getting that evidence that thinking positively is very attainable, that it's actually easy for you, then you're going to be able to have them more often. This will help decrease the gap or the time frame between having a positive thought and when the next one arrives. If it's something that's new to you, then they may be far apart. They could be days, months, even years for some people. So to try and bring in a positive thought every day, or to get it so you get one every hour, or so that you get it so that's the majority of your thoughts, requires you to be aware of how you're thinking. Be aware of your thoughts, and only you can do this for you. I can give you tools, I can give you support, I can help you set up routines to work with it. But if you choose not to do it, then, you're just going to stay where you're at, and that's okay. But if you really want to have more positive thoughts and want them around for longer, then you need to be aware of how you're thinking. You need to be consciously looking at all of these thoughts. How many are positive? And latch on to those. Don't let them just drift by. We're a culture, a society that we see more benefit in identifying our flaws and our difficulties. We've bought into this idea that if I can identify where I'm wrong, then that gives me something to work on. And that's true. However, it's so overriding that we then don't see where we're doing well. We don't catch those positive moments, those positive thoughts, those congratulations to me. Hey, we have to recognize on those. We have to celebrate them and bring them into part of who we are. Yet we don't give that the same value based on experience, based on programming. I hope this makes sense. Feel free to send me an email if you're not really sure about it all. But identifying your normal way of thinking, your normal way of looking at things will tell you how great a part of your day is spent in positive thinking, or you could call it negative thinking, or in that space of being in judgment. I'd love all of us, I'd love the whole world to move up into having greater, more frequent positive thoughts. Think of what we would do energetically around the world if we were having more positive thoughts ourselves. We feel it, we sense it, the energy in us changes, and that energy goes out and around. And it's available for other people as well. We've got the flip side of that right now. That's all it is. We've got the other side of that coin, which is why the opposite is more prevalent, but it doesn't have to stay there. We're going to go to our final break. When we get back, I'm going to do my best to wrap all this up for you again. And I'm going to give you another reminder about the Sparks of Hope Summit and hope that you will join us. So don't go away. There's still lots to share. And as you know, if you're here all the time on the Inspired Choices Network with me, this final break, it's a quickie. So you don't have time to go anywhere. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Told you it was a short one. All right, so we don't have too long because I ran a little bit long before we went to that last break. Positive thinking, when you're working at increasing it for you and having it less temporary in your day, a good way to look at it is it's something you can add to your toolbox. It's something you can draw on to help you out during your day. I don't see, to be honest, a lot of benefit in having an expectation that this is who you're going to become just right away, just because you say you're going to. If you're just joining and that doesn't make sense, please go back and listen to the first part of the show, because the subconscious is where the driver is for how you actually take action in the world. So look at increasing your positive thinking as a tool you are developing. It's something you're working with, right? Going back to the previous segment, looking at those steps that I was sharing with you, it does involve slowing down your thinking so you can catch those positive thoughts. They're there, but sometimes we need to really be intentional to hear them. And if you are void of them, like if things are really difficult and they're just not available, make one up. I know I said don't fake it till you make it, but you can find something to be positive about. You look out your window. Is there a flower blooming in a neighbor's garden? Think something positive about that flower. Or if you see someone out walking their dog and, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Think a positive thought about that dog. The fact that you just thought, oh, wow, that's so cute. Pause, hold that. Feel it in your body. Attach an emotion of, I don't know, play, laughter, being a child again. It doesn't matter, but bring something that feels good and attach it to that. And then ask to be shown it again. Ask to be shown a lot of cute dogs and see how many dogs you see when you're out walking or you're out on a drive. Treat it as a tool. Work with it. Build it up and strengthen it. And then it will start to become more and more natural, right? I'm not asking you to put on rose-colored glasses. That doesn't work, right? I'm asking you to feel naturally or authentically without negativity about something and to build on that and to work on it. It takes some time. It takes some instruction. It takes memory and repetition, but you can do it. Now, the summit that's tomorrow, May 9, 2024. For those of you on replay, you may miss it. But the offer I have for you, if you sign up, that automatically comes with your ticket price is an 8-day program on helping you to change how you think. A lot of the information I'm shared on the show is in that program, but in a more step-by-step way of working with it. And to work with one thought pattern you want to change. Don't overwhelm yourself, because that's not going to lead to success. When you can be in that space of everything is meaningless until you give it meaning, slow your thinking down. They're in the chat. I'm signing up. Very cool. Thank you. And you attach that emotion to that positive thought and bring it into your subconscious. You will make an impact in how you are thinking. You will move towards having positive thoughts be with you more often and for a longer period of time. You'll decrease the fact that they are so temporary right now. You know, it's up to you how you choose to define something. Very famous gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor. One of the things he talked about all the time was people would say, I've got good news, I've got bad news. Which one do you want? And he would respond, you've got news. It's my choice as to whether I decide if it's good news or bad news. It's your choice how you are going to look at things. So if you wish to look at things as good news, then you need to work with changing the automatic responses you've got and identifying when they're different for you. Latch on to them. Make it a game. How many times today can I find a positive thought? Go into it, pause, feel the emotion. What's the sensation in your body? Be with it. And then ask for more. Show me again. It works. Give it a try. Next week, our show is called No to Reinventing Yourself. It's kind of a popular way of looking at things. Oh, if I could just reinvent myself, or if I could just reinvent this aspect of me, then everything would be okay. If I could just reinvent how I think. Well, there's a problem with looking at it that way. Instead, go back and re-listen to this show. Try out what I'm saying. Let me know how you're doing. And if you wish, join us tomorrow on Sparks of Hope, shooting for success for the summit, and experience so many ways to bring positivity back to you.
Thank you for listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Karen Leslie returns Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can find Karen at KarenLeslie.ca and follow her on social media. Until next Wednesday, Karen is sending you waves of kindness for a fabulous week. Remember, it's only you who has the power to be and receive the kindness required to change your life.